Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Juliet Elizabeth and I have Ehlers-Danlos, hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome. I have CFSME, I have fibromyalgia. I have lots of little things that go with that. So I have unstable mast cells. I have bradycardia. What else do I have? It's kind of body stuff. And along with that, I also have kind of stuff that goes, it's considered kind of the more mental side. So I am dyslexic. I have auditory processing disorder. And I've just been diagnosed in March 2020 with Asperger syndrome as well. So yes, I was diagnosed with ICD-10, so it was Asperger syndrome that I was diagnosed with. I know there's a lot of controversy at the moment because the DSM-5 had already come out, and then that had merged Asperger syndrome into autism. So I'm autistic. So it is all changing at the moment. So yeah, I'm autistic too, and I've been finding a lot of things going on about me and my body and how it's changed massively since I last posted, about kind of this time last 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, on New Year's Day, I did the parkrun double with a body that was like starting to fail. By kind of April the 22nd, I did my last run, and then kind of shortly after that, I started being diagnosed with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome. And I had no idea that on the 22nd of April that would be my last run ever, like on my 2 feet anyway. And my body was breaking down after the Easter, and that was Easter Monday, I think the 22nd of April on 2019. And I'd managed to get out for this run, and it was a walk run with one of my favourite running partners. And we'd done this like walk run, it was 5 miles, and you know, I was feeling actually phenomenal that day. It was a really rare day. And then yeah, my body, my husband had virus, and then I came down with that, and then my hip went and it wouldn't stay in, and I had no idea what was going on at that point. And I was teaching yoga, and I was teaching swimming, I was teaching lifeguarding, and my hip went out, my right hip subluxed. I didn't really know what was going on at the time, and I was trying to get through it. I couldn't get it back in, and it wasn't out like fully dislocated, it was just subluxed. And I was teaching yoga with it, and it was getting more and more painful. And so I was on the waiting list, and I had been for over a year, about being diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and I really had no idea what was going on. And in fact, it had been over a year. And I saw the geneticist, and he didn't fully diagnose it at first, and I didn't really know what was going on. And it wasn't actually till September that I was fully diagnosed with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos, and there's a bit of story to that, and maybe I'll go through it in a different day because there's a lot of backstory to how it all happened. And I'm now in the hedge study because I'm such a good case of hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos that I'm now in the study to find the gene for it. So I'm a really good not classic Ehlers-Danlos, don't get mixed up, but I'm such a good, sturdy, classic case of hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos that they're now want to use my genes to see if they can find a commonality with other people that are good, solid cases of hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos, to find that. So yeah, that was all around that summer. So I was slowly deteriorating over that like summer period of 2019, was diagnosed with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos. By the kind of June, July, I was on crutches because of my hip. I had a migraine that started on my husband's birthday, which is the 21st of May, and that lasted 60 days. And I ended up in hospital. I've had migraines since I was 7, well, memorably since I was 7. My mum thinks I had them earlier, but I just don't remember, because I used to start screaming and wouldn't stop for hours, and that's a sign of migraines in little children. But I remember the one when I was 7. That was really memorable, and I've had migraines ever since. And I'm now on really high doses of Topamax, which has taken about, since then to sort out. But I've been under neurology for a little bit longer than that. So 60-day migraine. I had to give up work. They were leaving the door open, but then November 2019, they decided they were retiring me due to ill health. I had to start claiming PIP in the August. By September, I got myself some smart crutches because normal crutches were too much, and I ended up almost dislocating my elbow and my wrist and my left side on a damp day, going to see my daughter's new university that she started in 2019, and I slipped. So I got some smart crutches. They were a really good hint. And this is basically what I'm starting back this YouTube channel, because I have had to do so much research for everything, that I needed somebody to say, try this, do that. Have you thought of this? There is so many things when you develop Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and there's so many other things that I've been doing for years because I've been trying to keep myself going, that I didn't realise that was simply just because I had all these combination of things, that I was not, as my rheumatologist, who's sadly gone back to Italy because he was Italian, and he was like an amazing rheumatologist, and he said, you weren't exactly misdiagnosed with fibromyalgia when just after my son was born. And I've realised, put your teeth back in, Jay. I'm known as Jay, sorry. So when my son was born, I had a really, really, really classic type of Ehlers-Danlos delivery, where you go normally up until about 4 or 5 centimetres dilated, and then, oh my God, everything goes really, really fast, and then the baby's out. And I had a solid 40-minute contraction. Unfortunately, they were augmenting me at the time, so it was solid rather than when I had my daughter, and it was just quick. And then the baby was out. So I have my children in about 4.5 hours flat. But the last bit is less than an hour. It's like, oh, baby done. Unfortunately, because they were augmenting me, another story for another day, it caused issues with his delivery and my health and his health. And I developed fibromyalgia. Now, I have got fibromyalgia. I do have all the signs and symptoms of fibromyalgia, but they could have picked up Ehlers-Danlos at that point had they been looking properly. Do you see what I mean? So yes, 20 years plus later, I'm diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos, and had they picked it up properly then, there were so many things that would have changed my life, and ultimately maybe I wouldn't be in a wheelchair every time I leave the house, and sometimes in the house. And those are really important things. And in 2002, after my daughter was born, I was diagnosed with unstable mast cells. Now, had they diagnosed the Ehlers-Danlos when my son was born, my son was born in the 30th of December 1998. So in 1999, when they were going, ooh, and we don't know what's wrong with you, and then by 2000, they went, you've got fibromyalgia. So that was then. Then basically, if they'd done that, then they would have gone, maybe I had MCAS, which is a comorbid of Ehlers-Danlos, and they would have done the whole hog. So now I've just got unstable mast cells, and they treat me for that rather than having gone the whole hog. I don't know, because I can be treated with fexofenadine, and I take that every day, and I don't need anything else yet. And I just up the dose. I can take up to 4, quite a high dose fexofenadine. I take 1 every day, and then take more if I need to. So, all of these things. But it's also things like, what degree I took. I could have taken a psychology degree and become a psychologist, But I didn't. I took a choreography and dance degree, which, you know, hindsight maybe didn't help, bearing in mind the worst two parts of my body are my right hip, and, well, both my hips are a bit dodgy, and my left shoulder. So all of these things, you know, I have digestional issues, I have other problems, I have problems with what I put on my skin, you know, what I put in my mouth, you know, what I put on my hair, what I have to drive these days. All of these things have had to change in the last 2 years. So what I'm proposing I do with this YouTube channel now is that I take you through some of the changes that I have had to make with my life. As I said, what I eat, sleep, you know, what I put on my skin, what I eat, what I drive, what I leave the house with, my mobility aids, my, you know, all of these things, what we wash our clothing with, what we can, like, wipe sides down with, you know, all of these things have had to change because as I've got worse, these things have got worse, and I needed somebody to do that for me. So hopefully I can help you along with what I've found, and that was my idea for now. So if you like this idea, you know, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, and I will take you on the journeys that I have learned over the last couple of years, and this journey is still evolving, so you never know where we're going to go with this. So see you in a little while. Bye bye spoonies, and I'll see you in the next one.